person? Peter J.
What?
Who is Peter J?
There's a dangerous place where ambition and secrecy meet. A place where power is no longer just a position, but a shield, a weapon, and sometimes the prison. This is the story of a woman who had everything the world admired: status, influence, and a future that seemed destined for greatness. But behind that polished image was a truth she hoped would never see the light of day. She was not just a first lady. She was a force, respected across the country for her intelligence, her elegance, and her growing influence. She had begun to command attention far beyond her husband's presidency. People whispered about her future. They saw a leader, a woman who could rise beyond tradition and take power into her own hands. And she believed it too. Her ambition was not hidden. It was calculated, measured, patient. She was preparing for something bigger, a future where she would not stand behind power, but become it, but power as a cost. And sometimes that cost comes from the past. Long before the cameras, the speeches, and the admiration, there was a mistake, a hidden chapter, one she buried deep beneath layers of control and reputation. A relationship, dangerous, not because of love, but because of exposure. A young man, unpredictable, uncontrolled, unafraid. He was not part of her world, and that made him dangerous. At first, it was something she believed she could manage. She had rules, boundaries. She controlled the narrative, even going as far as limiting their encounters to once every 4 years. Carefully spaced, strategically hidden. She believed distance would erase risk. But secrets do not disappear. They wait, and then the message came, 1 hour before her biggest moment. Her maiden women's conference. A stage prepared, an audience waiting, a reputation ready to rise. Her phone vibrated. A message from an unknown number, untraceable, cold, direct, $1 million, or your secrets go public. In that moment, everything changed. The confidence, the control, the composure, it all cracked, because for the first time, she was no longer in charge of the narrative. Fear is a powerful equalizer. It does not care about status. It does not respect influence. It reduces even the strongest individuals to uncertainty. She acted quickly, gathering the few people she trusted most, her best friend, her chief of staff, her aide, a circle built on loyalty, or so she believed. Time began to move differently. Each second felt heavier, each minute louder. The messages continued, more aggressive, more threatening. The pressure built like a ticking clock. Suspicion crept in. The young man, he was the obvious risk, the one loose end, the one person who knew too much. Her chief of staff moved swiftly, tracking him down, confronting him, dragging him into the center of the storm. But something didn't add up. Even as he stood before them, the messages continued, relentless, unstoppable, which meant one thing: he wasn't the source. And that was when everything began to unravel, because truth has a way of exposing more than expected. The young man spoke, not with fear, not with hesitation, but with clarity. He revealed something no one saw coming, a betrayal, not from an enemy, but from within. Her best friend, the one she trusted, the one she confided in, had secretly approached him, offered him money, tried to silence him, tried to control the very secret now threatening to destroy everything. The room shifted, trust collapsed, accusations filled the air, and for a moment, friendship became suspicion. But here's the thing about truth. It rarely stops at the first revelation. The deeper they dug, the more complicated it became. A hacker was brought in, a woman connected to hidden transactions and digital footprints. At first, she seemed guilty, a convenient answer, a simple explanation. But simple answers rarely solve complex problems. Under pressure, she admitted to crimes, financial misconduct, illegal access, but not this, not the blackmail, which meant the threat was bigger than all of them. The First Lady made a decision, a risky one. She chose to fight back, not with fear, but with strategy. They began tracing patterns. following clues, breaking rules, crossing lines, until finally the trail led somewhere unexpected, somewhere dangerous. The chief of staff of the president, a man close to power, a man trusted, a man invisible in plain sight. When he was confronted, the truth came out. It wasn't random. It wasn't personal. It was calculated. The president himself had set everything in motion, not out of anger, but out of control. He knew about her past, her secret, her vulnerability, and he used it as leverage, as a weapon, because power does not like competition. Her rising popularity, her growing influence, her future ambitions were a threat, and in his world, threats must be eliminated. But here is where the story changes, because for every act of control, there is a moment of resistance. Her best friend returned, not with fear, but with courage. She made a bold move, a dangerous one. She stepped forward and claimed something shocking, that she had an affair with the president. No evidence, no proof, just a statement powerful enough to shake the foundation of power itself. It was a risk, a sacrifice, a stand, because sometimes loyalty is proven not in comfort, but in crisis. And in that moment, the balance shifted. The truth surfaced, not perfectly, not cleanly, but enough to expose a manipulation. And finally, the real game was revealed. Power had tried to silence truth, but truth found a voice. Ambition without integrity is dangerous. Power without accountability is destructive. And secrets, no matter how well hidden, will always find their way to the surface. Be careful what you hide. Be careful who you trust. And most importantly, never build your future on a foundation you are afraid to defend. Because in the end, it is not power that defines you. It is truth. If this story opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. And for more powerful, life-changing stories like this, subscribe to Lifetime Studios on YouTube. Because sometimes the greatest lessons come from the darkest truths.